and they come and they participate in pilgrimage, if you want, or festival in honor of Abraham that are done once a year, and everybody joins. And the Jews, the Christians, the Arabs, the pagans, it's a great thing. Everybody goes there.
Or what I found really interesting is pagans, or what I believe, or what are called pagans in late antiquity, show reference to the figure of Abraham. And I was wondering, was it through exactly what you described that they came to have common knowledge of a figure so central to Christians and Jewish people? Because I see the Roman Emperor Alexander Severus claimed to possess statues of Abraham, the Roman Emperor Julian, which I believe he really had strong feelings against Christianity. He was said to have reverence for the God of Abraham, even questioning if Christians are true followers of him, why don't they act as he does? So, how did pagans in this time gain knowledge of Abraham to where they started seeing him, revering him, and seeing him as a folk hero almost?
Well, again, this is a major question on which I've been starting to do some work. Some of it not yet published, but I can give you the gist of it. Well, Abraham is first mentioned in the first chapters of Genesis, Genesis 12 and 17, and God tells Abraham to go from his land in Chaldea to another land that he will give him. In a sense, this is the origin of the concept of divine election,
Mm.
chosenness. God chooses Abraham. Why, we don't know. But chosenness is first a person. God is chosen by God, and God promises him that his offspring will spread throughout the earth and so on. And although they are a small people, they will be a blessing to all the nations of the earth.
Mm.
And these are a few verses or chapters of the Hebrew Bible, which was first translated into Greek in the 3rd century BC. But the stories circulate for many centuries.
Before that.
Uh, and therefore, not only among Israelites or Jews, the stories about Abraham are, there's this great man, a kind of culture hero,
Mm.
as others, as Zarathustra and so on. There's this great man, Abraham, who did this and this and this. And the stories circulate, and we know that now we don't have many traces before Christianity, but in the first Christian centuries, in late antiquity, we know that there are celebrations, yearly celebration near Hebron, where Abraham met the
Mm.
three angels of God who appeared to be his guests. He treated them as his guests. The story circulates not only among Jews and Christians, but it's among people uh, from Semitic what
Yeah, yeah, I had read that even Arabs would attend this
and
festival. What they meant by Arabs in that time is maybe debatable, but and I know we'll talk about this later as we enter the Arabian Peninsula, but I just found that so thought-provoking how maybe the idea of Abraham could have possibly been transplanted into the Arabian Peninsula via maybe only one of the ways, but via maybe this festival that Arabs who lived in maybe in the Arab area who would frequent.
Well, Arabs don't only live in Arabia. In the 4th century, we have Arabs in Palestine. If you want, in a sense, the Nabateans were pre-Arabs. I mean, we can call they were Arabs, but later on, the 4th, 5th, 6th century, people speak Proto-Arabic in Palestine. And they are Arabs, they are Christians,
Okay.
they are pagans, there are no Muslims because there's no Islam, but they are certainly Arabs. And some of these people, and they can come from Transjordan, Jordan of today. I mean, they circulate. They can come from Syria of today. I mean, they come and they participate in pilgrimage, if you want, or festival in honor of Abraham that are done once a year, and everybody joins. And the Jews, the Christians, the Arabs, the pagans, it's a great thing. Everybody goes there. Constantine, who is a serious Christian because he just converted, so he takes it seriously, he doesn't like it. And he decides to establish a church so that this will become a Christian place and not a mixture of people. But so there is Abraham circulates. Now, in the 5th century, I will give 2 examples, if you permit me. In the 5th century, in the 4th century, you mentioned the Emperor Julian, who is a pagan, of course. He rebelled against the Christianity of his youth, wants to come back to Hellenism or paganism of his ancestors, hates the Christians, writes a book against the Christians, whom he calls the Galileans, because they come from this small place in Galilee. But he says, but I have great respect for the God of Abraham. Although I'm not interested in Jews either. He's more interested in Jews than in Christians, but he's certainly not he's not a Judaizer. The God of Abraham is something else. This is a testimony by somebody who is an emperor who had a very high philosophical education, and we should take what he says and what he writes very seriously. Now,